Alright, what's up guys? It's MJO23 Dan and
Sal the Sneakerhead.
we're here talking about restoration. So if you guys have watched my videos before, I did what was called a MJO Feature Friday, and it's actually been almost a year since
it's coming up.
Yeah, since we did that video, and it's really cool to come back here and chop it up with Sal.
In a whole different room.
Yeah, so it's totally different layout, but the restoration and the techniques are all the same. So Sal just wants to go over, what you guys need to be a restorer. Like what if you want to start doing restoration jobs, beginner stuff, and
just
we'll
to learn
go from there.
basically. Just to learn, because I mean, you're not gonna be a business right off the back. You're not gonna have clients right off the back. So there's a great idea that Marvin came up. We're gonna try and help you guys with the basics first. What you need.
And I mean, I've tackled restoration as a beginner on my channel too, but this is the man right here. So
Try.
no, I try to push clients to him because he knows the business and he's local and he's pretty much down the street from me.
Literally down the street.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions whatsoever, we can try and tackle that. So first things first, do you want to go over some of the things that somebody might need?
So I mean, we're gonna just start off with the basics. Majority of the paint, dyes, literally anything that you need, you could probably just find on Angelus Direct. So right here, you can see a big old paint from Angelus, dye from Angelus, and a bunch of other stuff. They sell brushes, they sell all sorts of different items. Now this barge you can find on eBay and Amazon. I'll link down an Amazon link where I actually get it from, so you guys can go ahead and buy that. I buy the huge ones because again, I'm more of a business and I have a ton of shoes that I'll need it for. But you guys can go ahead and buy the little tiny one that they sell on there. And then my acetone is straight from Walmart, and then I just throw it inside of this little pumper because it helps me control how much acetone goes into a cotton ball. And then something you'll definitely need is the 40 volume. You can't see it right there, but you're probably gonna have to get 40 because you most likely don't have a beauty license to get a 50 volume. I actually got this from someone else, but the 40 is good. 40 will be good for you to start off on. So that's really, and then the heat gun is also from Lowe's. So I'll make sure to have Marvin link all this stuff down below, and then you guys can know exactly where to get it from.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so all this stuff on the table here, what would you estimate somebody would spend for? I guess this is pretty much your starter kit, right? So
yeah, basically, I mean, I pay about $45 to $50 for the big thing of barge. The little small one is usually $30, $35 around there. Acetone, the big container from Walmart, which is put into this little pump right here, it goes for about $12 at Walmart. 40 volume, this is 50, but imagine it's 40 volume, goes for this size container, probably goes for probably $6 at the most. And then if you go with a pint, or if you go with a little tiny container of paint, you're probably gonna spend $3 on the small one, and this one's probably around $8 or $10. Dyes around the same thing as well on Angelus. It's around maybe $4 for a little tiny one like this, and for a pint it's $13 I believe I paid. And then the heat gun, probably not gonna run you more than $12, $13, depending on which one you buy, because this is really basic. It has off, low, and high. That's it. That's all you really need.
Yeah, I like the Wagners. I think
super simple.
Yeah, these are one of the starter ones here. It's the yellow one, and it doesn't really have a temperature gauge or whatever on it, but and Sal has probably.
This thing is ancient.
I mean, have you gone over how to use a heat gun in one of your videos?
I think in the white cement the Katrina conversion, I did real quick, but I actually should go over it because I always see a lot of people damaging their midsoles, and it's mainly Jordan 11 midsoles, Jordan 10 midsoles, because they're all Phylon and they just start to expand or shrink. So I should do a video on that, but something like this is very easy. It looks beat up because this thing is 4 years old, so yours is gonna look brand new. But it's good. It lasts and it does the job for re-glues, for repaints, for sometimes removing donors, for removing shoes that are crumbling, and etc. etc.
Okay, and then paintbrushes. So what are some of the ones that somebody should look after? What are the basic ones, I guess?
If you want to start off basic, go to Walmart. Don't go to Target. I've never looked at a Target brush, but Walmart, these are literally Walmart ones, and I use them for almost everything. For a huge pack that comes with different types of brushes, I think I spent maybe $6 or $7. So it's a really big, huge pack, and you'll get your money's worth when you use it. And then everything else, like when you learn to paint, maybe I'll probably put out a video on how to paint properly. It's all it's trial and error when it comes to that. But all this, it's good to have when you first start off and you want to start practicing on your own shoes. Don't practice on anyone else's shoes. Find beaters in the garage. It doesn't have to be Jordans. It can be literally anything that has leather, that has a midsole, something just so that way you start learning. You don't ruin other people's shoes, because the second you ruin other people's shoes and it's unintentional, and you still keep charging people for it, you're gonna just ruin your name right off the bat before you even become a business.
Yeah, and that's how you started too. You started practicing with on your own personal shoes, so you didn't mess up.
Dude, I didn't even know it was a business back then, to be completely honest. And in like the end of 8th grade, I had watched videos and I was like, wow, this is a thing.
Yeah.
And so I found.
And this is how many years ago?
This is back in 8th grade, so this is probably 6 years ago, I think,
6
somewhere
years.
around there. Wherever, I don't know. But I mean, I found a beat pair of 2010 Varsity 6s, the white ones, and I didn't have anything to fix it, so all I knew was to clean it with regular soap and water. And then I had them iced by someone at school, and I never got them back. So after that, that's when I started taking it seriously. I started practicing on other shoes. I started painting on leather shoes, learning and figuring stuff out. And then eventually I started doing free cleanings. I started doing free repaints.
I think that's important too, starting off, not to set yourself high because you're not a professional yet.
Yeah, you're nobody.
So when you're starting out, you really gotta take free jobs or just charge bare minimum stuff. When you start getting better, then
and depending on when you start, so if you're my age, which is 2021, you kind of, unless you have a job, you can't do stuff for free. But I was back in high school, so I could do stuff for free because I didn't have anything to pay for. So depending on how old you are, where you're at, what you have to pay for, what you don't have to pay for. Go based off that, but you're still a nobody in the restoring game. Not in a rude way, but you're still you're not there to be charging people even $5 because you don't know what you're doing yet. So I think that's a good way to start off, is just practicing on your own shoes, and if you can't say your work is good, without being I forget the word, just being honest. There we go, being honest that your work is actually maybe this can go on someone else's shoe. That's when you can start going. Maybe get it looked over by someone else like me. Send me some pictures. If I have time, I'll look over and I'll say, yeah, that's some pretty decent work. Or I'll be dead ass honest, yo, that's trash. Don't get hurt. Just take it. And I'm not gonna be, yo, that's trash and that's it. That's trash because you can fix this, this, and this, and this, and this is how you fix it. So that's a pretty good way to start off. And
this is why I love Sal, because his hustle started early, and when I was going to school, and man, I was in high school in the 90s. I'm old as hell, but.
I wasn't even born yet.
He is starting all this, thinking, yo, it's gonna actually make money for me. So, you guys right now, the tools are out there if you guys want to use it. We didn't go over some paints, so some basic paints that somebody might need. What, flat white?
Yeah.
And Angelus is
everything for paint, unless you get jacquard, but that's when you have an airbrush, which you're probably not gonna have until later on in your career. But literally, I don't like flat white unless you're hand painting it because it's already super thin. But if you go with just regular white and regular black, those are the two colors you're gonna need the most.
Okay.
I wouldn't take in any shoes like militaries or any shoes like Do the Right Thing 3s or anything that has a special colorway, because as much as I love Angelus, their paint mixes, they're not 100%, and you probably at this point in time, unless you're an artist already, because some people are just pure artists and could just paint on a shoe, but unless you know how to mix colors professionally and perfection, like a perfectionist, you're just gonna need black and white at the most. That's what I started off with. And then there's local cobbler shops that carried Angelus, so I would go and buy navy blue and buy what I needed. Because again, you're starting, you probably don't have money to just ball out on a bunch of products, so you're probably gonna have to buy when a customer brings you a shoe. So that's what I would recommend. Just start off with white and black from Angelus, and then if you have a local cobbler shop or anywhere that sells like Angelus, go check it out and go grab what you need. Don't grab too much, because you'll be like me. I had a million colors, but I didn't use a single one of them until 4 years later, and by that time they're all dried out. So I'm like, shit, I was out of luck.
Yeah.
So those are the basic paints, black and white, definitely.
Okay, so we can start diving into some shoes here. So talk about I guess where can people find donors? The most common jobs that are done that I see are Air Jordan 3s, Air Jordan 4s. Those are the most common that people like to work on.
Yeah, 3s and 4s are the most common. We'll bring out the Lightnings. I would say 3s, 4s, 5s, and sometimes 6s are probably the most. Maybe we can move these. But I would definitely say, going back to it, that 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s are the most common that you'll ever, come into swap. Main reason is because, I mean, they're one of the most popular shoes.
Right.
And a lot of the nice colorways are the older colorways. Like, I mean, you don't see the Lightnings around too often, So we're getting these soul swapped, and we actually used a 2013, I think we used a 2013 Spizike. Oh, no. Is it some Sunmar or something like that? I forget. But I definitely recommend, just to get this right off the back, I wouldn't pay more than $50 for donors, and don't buy anything older than 2013. Main reason is you don't want to, buy a donor from 2010, because that shoe is already 9 years old. Why would you want a 9-year-old donor? So you might as well start off with something new, because you can find donors for pretty cheap on eBay, Facebook, sometimes Amazon if you're lucky, and some other stuff. So definitely try and buy 2013 and up, and as the time goes by, when 2020 comes, I'll say 2014 and up. So just
adjust the years.
Yeah. You gotta be very mindful when you're restoring, because I mean, 2 years ago I was going to buy donors. I was like, oh crap, dude! It's like what, 2017 back then, and I was telling people to buy 2010 and lower. Mm-hmm. So you gotta be mindful when you think of donors. And personally, me, I don't accept any shoe unless the customer provides it. Main reason is because I've had many people send me shoes, and then years go by but still no donor. Literally, this CDP Bread 4, it's all crusty and dusty because these have been here for at least a year and a half, and the guy still hasn't found a donor. And I try to help from time to time, but I have other clients' shoes to find, so that's why I'll never accept a soul swap until the customer. Look how dusty it is. That's how you know it's just been sitting there.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that's important too is, and I mean, if you want to go into the etiquette thing when contacting a restorer.
Yeah.
So whenever you guys contact a restorer, there's proper ways to go about it. What we were just talking out there, like what was one thing that somebody just DMs you about?
Yeah.
Just like,
I mean,
an example of,
yeah.
What's an example when somebody just...
A perfect example is like, yo, I need my shoes cleaned. Yo, how much for Jordan 11 and Yellowing? Yo, how much for a soul swap? Like, how am I supposed to price? Okay, cool, this one guy gave me a Jordan 11, but I still can't see how bad the yellowing is to give you an accurate quote. Because what if I gave you a quote of $20 and your shoes are so piss yellow that I have to charge you $60? Now I'm screwed because I already gave you my word, and I'm probably just going to deny you because I don't want to do that work for so cheap.